Welcome to another video OB o'clock on Friday. This Friday on job satisfaction. Job satisfaction. Before I start talking about it, let's have a quick 2 minutes break in the beginning. And you may be surprised that we haven't even started yet, but we are taking a break. Well, this is a 2 minutes of entertainment to look into what is not job satisfaction or what is a contributor of lower levels of job satisfaction. It's quite entertaining. Let's have a look at it. We'll be back together soon.
You did say 10 o'clock, right?
Yeah. Do you know what this is about?
Just said staff meeting on the memo.
It's funny how he gets all over my ass if I'm a minute late, but then he makes us wait 15.
You were 2 minutes late, Nick.
Morning.
And I didn't think I had to punch a clock with you.
You don't. Sorry.
That's all right. I'll just attribute this to your drinking problem.
Yeah, I don't have
Nick, please. We're in the middle of a meeting.
Sorry.
Morning, everyone. So, I have finally decided who I want to be our new senior vice president of sales. He's right here in this room. It's me.
What do you say?
I've decided to absorb the responsibilities of the senior VP position into my own. I've realized that if you want to get something done right, you've got to do it yourself. So I'm going to be breaking through the wall of the office that would have been the senior VP's and make one huge, enormous office. However, I will only be taking 85% of the additional salary I'm entitled to, and that is self-sacrifice, people. Fucker!
Son of a bitch! So fucking fired!
So, meeting adjourned.
Mr. Harkin, can I speak to you?
Yeah, sure. What is it?
You know, for months you've been hinting that I was in line for that promotion.
And look how hard you've been working.
What, were you just lying to me?
Lying? No, Nick. Motivating. I mean, look, we're all part of the same team here. Plus, you know, I'm the one who's going to be doing all the extra work.
You know that last month you made me work so late I missed saying goodbye to my gam.
I'm sorry, what?
My grandmother. I told you that I needed to see her because she was very, very sick. You said if I left early I'd get fired. And she died before I made it to the hospital.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I had no idea that you called your grandmother Cam. Sorry. Sorry you didn't get to say bye-bye to Cam. I really am.
So, job satisfaction is about not being bullied by a supervisor or a manager. It's about working in an organization or in a business that is a psychologically safe environment or psychologically safe climate. Psychological safety, extremely important, particularly the more research findings come out that suggest there are a number of correlations between lower job satisfaction and work burnout, between withdrawal behavior and low levels of job satisfaction. Also, employees' mental well-being and mental health. There are more and more institutions and organizations and even government organizations conducting research and focusing on what leads to burnout and work-related depression, anxiety, and we know the fact those who are dealing with work-related stress, burnout, anxiety, and they work in a psychologically unsafe climate, they will withdraw and they also have low levels of satisfaction. So that's something that we already know, and research and findings provide enough evidence. What is job satisfaction though? Job satisfaction, if I wanted to give you a simple definition, we are talking about a positive feeling. So once we say satisfaction, whether it's life satisfaction, student satisfaction, customer satisfaction, or job satisfaction, we are talking about feelings, and there should be a way to measure it. So we need instruments to be able to measure satisfaction. It's not something that you can tell somebody is intuitively. You can say somebody is satisfied with their job. Well, we need to look into the data to have accurate data and to be able to say that person is job satisfied or not. So that's about measurement, and that's about basically digging into the data and looking into our performance appraisal forms and surveys and questionnaires that our employees or customers or students fill out. But in terms of definition, a positive feeling about a job resulting from evaluation of its characteristics. So a job has a number of characteristics usually. A job is more than just doing the paperwork or sending an email or responding to customer inquiries. A job is a lot more than that. Relationship with your co-workers, the salary itself, the money that you get, pay is important, company policies, relationship with co-workers. Even if you look into the motivation theories and Herzberg's hygiene factors, we are talking about company policies, we are talking about relationship with others, we are talking about pay and characteristics of the job itself. However, what really contributes, even motivation theories confirm that, is what increases job satisfaction is the work itself, that interest of an individual in the work that they're doing. Also advancement, growth and promotion opportunities. So career advancement, career growth and opportunities for professional development, personal development. They are very important in increasing job satisfaction. Consequences of not being satisfied, employees usually respond to lower levels of satisfaction in different ways. You have voice response, you have exit response, which is possibly the worst response that an employer would receive from their employees when an employee decides to leave the organization or starts thinking about resignation or looking into other alternatives. That's exit response. There are a number of responses, but there is also something that is becoming more and more common, and that is withdrawal behavior. Now, if you look into the withdrawal behavior, I have a definition for you, possibly one of the definitions that I came across and it resonated with me. It's something that I think it's easy to understand and digest in terms of having a definition or understanding of withdrawal behavior. So what is withdrawal behavior? Withdrawal behaviors are the actions a person takes when they become physically and or psychologically disengaged from their organization or from the organization. Some commonly noted withdrawal behaviors are physical, such as absenteeism and lateness or turnover. Also, there are psychological withdrawal behaviors. Now, on that note, by the way, lateness as a form of manifestation of physical withdrawal behavior, we have unavoidable lateness, which is, let's say an employee comes to work a little late because of transportation issues or an accident, or it could be just a little illness that they have and it's causing them to come to work late. But there are also cases of lateness which is identified or it's recognized as increasing chronic lateness. Those increased chronic lateness cases is when you see repetition, you see that pattern keeps happening and happening, the frequency is increasing, and that's also a sign of employees getting demotivated. So they come to work a little late and it's happening frequently and it's increasing chronically because they're demotivated. If you wanted to also look into psychological withdrawal behavior, we can look into two main types of psychological withdrawal behavior. One is presentism, and it is defined as when an employee shows up for work but works in a limited capacity. Basically, they put less effort in completing tasks, and that is very similar to employees that show up for work. They actually physically sit behind their desk and they start working on their, let's say, on their computer, but they spend hours and hours just surfing on internet and basically killing time doing things that are not necessarily related to the organizational objectives or to the projects, to the work itself. They don't complete their tasks because psychologically they have withdrawn, and that is very difficult actually to measure. So with psychological withdrawal behavior, it's very expensive for businesses and organizations, and it costs them a lot. There is also burnout. Burnout can develop when emotional or other stressors become unbearable. Burnout occurs when an employee has exhausted all their personal, mental, and physical resources for the job. And now we have burnout as a syndrome actually. So looking into workplace well-being and mental health of employees is really important to address any burnout issues and to look into mental health of our employees and to really look into work-related stress, anxiety, and what is causing burnout, workload, all the things that lead to burnout. Work-related stress, anxiety, and distressing at work and anything around that. There is a particular government organizations in Australia, Safe Work Australia. You can look into safeworkaustralia.gov.au. One of the annual reports in 2016, and there is a lot of research behind this report. It is titled as Psychological Safety, Climate and Better Productivity in Australian Workplaces. It looks at costs, productivity, presentism and absenteeism, and it's really interesting. I wanted to share this with you. Just one line. What they found is that the total costs of low levels of psychological safety climate, here we are talking about increasing psychological safety climate and increasing job satisfaction, or at least preventing withdrawal behavior, preventing manifestations of withdrawal behavior, preventing employee mental health issues, and basically very important. It says the total cost of low levels of psychological safety climate to Australian employers is estimated to be approximately 6 billion per year. So very important to invest time, energy and money, our resources, into ensuring that in terms of psychological safety climate, in terms of culture, in terms of supervision quality, relationship with our employees, providing them advancement, growth and promotion opportunities, to look into contributors of job satisfaction, and also to be aware that there are outcomes of job satisfaction which will benefit our organizations and people in general and the society. We are talking about performance here, organizational citizenship behavior, life satisfaction, customer satisfaction. There are a number of benefits of job satisfaction and a number of outcomes. If you look into study of positive psychology, particularly around the work of Dr. Martin Seligman, one of the founders of positive psychology, and if you look at PERMA model, which is a model of positive psychology, positive emotions is correlated with job satisfaction. And also, I'm going to put just a segment of one of the lectures of Professor Jordan Peterson, a very well respected academic, Canadian academic, who's contributed a lot in the field of psychology, and he is highly respected by the academic world and his students, and in general is very well respected. And I'm not supporting anyone in terms of advocating but surely I respect him for his contribution. He also talks about progress and emotions and positive emotions, and we know progress, whether you hear it from Jordan Peterson or you hear it from someone without those academic qualifications and academic achievement and scholarly portfolio. If you hear from Tony Robbins, who's been around for over 40 years, and he's again, I'm not promoting anyone here, I'm just giving you two different perspectives, one with a highly prominent academic portfolio and one without academic background, but a practitioner who's been around and who's been coaching hundreds and hundreds or thousands of people and executives and managers all around the world. If you look into some of the lectures of Tony Robbins and Jordan Peterson, they both talk about progress. And Tony says progress equals happiness, one says progress and positive emotions correlate, and we need to progress. We need to have something to look forward. And I think if you look into motivation theories, when you look into hygiene factors or Herzberg's factors that talk about what contributes to job satisfaction, we are talking about advancement, growth, and promotion opportunities. Particularly the word advancement, achievement, and growth is there. And we know advancement and growth means having something to look forward to, working for an organization that acknowledges your contribution. So acknowledgement and recognition, advancement, growth, promotion, they are all very important professional development opportunities, personal development opportunities. There are that progress that Tony Robbins talks about, and the positive emotions and progress and something to look forward to, whether from positive psychology's point of view or if you listen to Jordan Peterson. I'm going to put just little segments of those videos into this video so you see they correlate with contributors for job satisfaction. There is a lot to talk about when it comes to satisfaction. It's a very complex concept, and it's not even easy to talk about it in a couple of workshops. We can talk about it in many online or face-to-face sessions, but this was just a quick video for you to inspire you to go and do your search in the literature and possibly look into some articles from Harvard Business Review and into the psychological and managerial journals, and see what you can find that can provide evidence and can help you to better understand what are the outcomes of job satisfaction, what are consequences of lower job satisfaction, what is withdrawal behavior, physical and psychological withdrawal behavior, and strategies that we can reduce or minimize the risk of having employees engaging in withdrawal behavior. What we want really, we ultimately want employees who are engaged, who are positive, who have positive relationship with others, who are loyal to our organization, high organizational citizenship behavior, job involvement, commitment, and all those positive qualities in an employee. So it's really important to increase all these positive aspects of an employee's attitude at work, and also important to recognize our shortcomings as organizations, businesses, companies, and to fill those gaps, to make sure our employees don't look for alternatives and don't start thinking whether or not they want to continue working with us. It's very difficult to recruit good talent these days, even though some employers may think there are a lot of job seekers out there, but if you have someone who's performing well in your organization, it is logical and rational to invest on them and to do whatever you can do to retain them. Retention is very important these days. I hope you enjoy these two little segments that I'm going to put at the end of this video, and I hope you stay healthy. Make sure that you look after yourself, your mental health. We are talking about psychological safety. Make sure that you are also looking after your own mental health and also your physical well-being, which is very important. Even though you're in lockdown, most of us are spending more time at home these days, but there are also exceptions that government has allowed people to go out for exercise, even though it has to be just on your own or in groups of two. Whatever the restrictions, the rules, whatever it is, we all respect it, but make sure that you are physically active and you are mentally healthy. Until next audio clock, I wish you a great weekend, and I hope to see you soon again.
If you have something to aim for, that's a source of positive emotion. Because your positive emotion is mostly generated by evidence that you're moving towards something that you value. It's not generated so much by accomplishing something.
The two fundamental elements that you really want to be fulfilled is you have to grow, as I said earlier. Progress equals happiness.